Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new Adobe Live session. Happy Friday to all of you. It's summer, it's shining outside, so I hope you're enjoying your day so far. Today, I have a very special guest with me who started a mega hackathon since Monday, Tanja Hildebrandt. How are you, Tanja?
Hi, Nathalie. Thanks. I'm fine.
Yeah, we're so excited for today because this is day 3. It's the final day of the hackathon. I know that you began to create a branding for a teacup company, sorry, back on Monday, where you began with your logo and the brand assets. So for everyone, today is all about packaging. So we're going to be rendering cool things on Dimension, and the most exciting part is that we're going to move to Illustrator to show you how to present your work in a nice presentation with key visuals. So get ready for that one. I just want to remind everyone, if you are joining us on YouTube, do switch to behance.net/live so we can say hi to you, answer your questions. And yeah, and I want to say hi to everyone who's joining us right now live: Gareth, Jackie, Stuart, Oliver, Christy. It's so good to be back and to see you virtually, hopefully to see you in person one day. So Tanja, should we show everyone what the community created? I know that you invited everyone on Discord to showcase some new patterns. Should we go through that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm pretty amazed by the amount of submissions and what lovely patterns the community created. So yeah, I opened Discord here. And there were a lot of submissions. Like here, for example, Koutia was the first one. I really loved that abstract way of creating the lemon and ginger tea. So the topic, as you mentioned, was tea. And yeah, it was totally open to somehow, in a way, interpret that theme. So that with Koutia, Tim also created a seamless pattern design, which I also really love, and it's glowing here. That one is also pretty cool.
Wow.
This one is really lovely. Here's Sandrine. She already created even a mock-up with it. This is also pretty nice. And yeah,
that's amazing. I love how everyone, that was from Wednesday. I love how everyone just got to work and create things.
Yeah, that's definitely really cool. And wait, here were a few more. That one is also really nice, like with the geometric shapes and the apple. Also, I really love the colors. They are pretty nice color combination. And here, these one from Jackie. Here also with these little dotted pattern is super lovely. And it looks like they're hand drawn. And here, wow. These pattern designs from Angus are so cool because I just realized it now. On Wednesday, like I had 3 flavors. I thought we are creating the designs for 3 different flavors: lemon balm, elderflower, and apple mint. And we gave them a name. They were called Tony, Tim, and Tanja. And Angus, he used that for his pattern. So this is the Tanja tea with the glasses, because obviously I wear glasses. This one with the mustache is the pattern design for Tony's tea. And here, this is the pattern design for Tim's tea, here with the headset. And
yeah, way to go, Angus.
So this is really cool. Here, another one. Also,
by Gareth.
Super lovely, nice. With a combination of the fine lines and these colors in the background. Yeah, so I'm really I'm overwhelmed by the amount. Yeah, you all did a really good job, I would say, and so much. And somewhere I also read the I think Kirsty, she said she's in love now with creating patterns, and I can really I can also say it can be really addicting when you once started, because they're endlessly the opportunities are endless to create some patterns. So yeah, that's really nice.
Good job, everyone. It's really fascinating to see, the community working together. So thank you, everyone, for providing these patterns, and hopefully we can see more on Discord. So don't forget a Discord channel that we're gonna share soon on the chat, so you can join the community, and get to know each other and start creating things. So Tanja, I know we have we have I don't know, almost less than an hour. So let's get things started. Let's see some dimension action, should I say? So
yeah. Definitely. So yeah, just a really short recap. We are creating this brand design for this tea company. We created the brand assets on Monday, and on Wednesday I'm going to show them again, because here we started. I already picked the assets or the products in Dimension, made like a really rough mock-up to see on what kind of products we want to work on. And it's going to be that box, and we will have like 3 different tea flavors inside. So we made this kind of brand pattern, I would say, here with the brand colors. And then I also did some variations of this pattern, and also made like a 1 color variation.
Beautiful.
And here, because I also thought about the dimension, that all the 3 different packages like fit into that box. Like the box has to be like 30 by 40 by 15 centimeters in size. And we had these 2 options, and Tony came up with a really nice idea, because first I thought, okay, maybe let's use that colorful version. But then Tony had the really nice idea to actually create like a metallic effect onto the box. And I thought, this is really nice. Like, we want to use a metallic effect for the lines of the patterns. I think this is a really nice idea. And we already created the different illustrations for each flavor. So here you can see like a flattened version of this packaging, and today we are going to use these to create a scene in Dimension. And and this is the back side of the package.
Okay. Did you customize this, or is this lorem ipsum, or did you really write down the text?
No, here I wrote some text, but here for the ingredients I just used lorem ipsum, because I thought maybe you will not read it in that size, I think.
No worries. We'll get some suggestions from the live chat, maybe.
Maybe.
Depending on Tim's and Tony's personality, maybe choose the right ingredients for them.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, so I would say let's jump over to Dimension. Today we want to create something like that, and just to have like a picture of what we are going to do. We now start from scratch and creating something like that scene. So first I create a new document. So like this is the default size, but you can also adjust it. And maybe perhaps a really quick introduction. Like, this is a 3D programming or a tool especially for designers to create these 3-dimensional mockups. And basically you have like 3 cursors where you can like work with in that 3-dimensional atmosphere. So one is, I think it's called the orbit tool. You can go around, up and down. Then by pressing 2, you have this pan tool, I think it's called. You can go like left and right and up and down. And then you have the zoom in and zoom out tool by pressing 3 on your keyboard. So these are just the basics to understand how you can act or interact in that program. So now what we first do is to bring our products here into that scenery. And therefore I go into this starter asset panel. And here I choose the box, and simply by click and dragging it into the scenery, I already have it inside. And I went for this coffee bag because we also, it's also an ecological brand tea label. So I thought, okay, it's nice to use some packaging which is not made out from plastic, but from cardboard or paper. So
very well thought, like the details, even in the presentation, I think it's right. It's what matters, the small details.
Yeah, I think so too. And here, this is your normal selection tool. Like in all the other apps, it's just by pressing V, you can select these different assets. And because I already thought of the sizes of these products, I first going to bring them into the right side. Like here, I always have to take a look which one is which, because you have these X, Y, Z things here. So I have to take a quick look. Like this packaging here is 11 by 22. I think 22 is the height. I think that's the set. Oh no. Wait.
Oh no,
this is the depth. Okay, and this is the height. Okay, now we have this in the right dimension, and that one here. I will rotate this a bit. That one here, we have 40 in width. Wait. 30.
Tanja, for those who weren't part of the first 2 days, where are you getting the specs from of the product? Is it like literally you're taking the specs from the product literally, or are these like numbers that were provided by the brief, or?
For these products, you mean?
Yes.
No, I just thought, okay, I want to have like 3 packages, and I just like took a look in my kitchen at the tea packaging, and I thought, okay, like I think like 22 centimeters high could be a normal size of this kind of tea package. And then I thought, okay, I want to have 3. I want to have place in the box. There should be fitting 3 packages into the box. So I thought, okay, they has to be like 30 centimeters wide and 40 centimeters wide and 30 centimeters high. So, but it was just like, also it's not like a real client product, because I thought in this way it's nicer to also talk about like, how you can present your work somehow.
Of course. And I have a question from Jackie. Of course, we try to prepare everything before the live streams because we have very limited time. But for instance, I know that you put so much effort into the illustrations and all the preparation. So she's asking, how long did it take for you to get everything ready and like have us see the final resume in these streams?
Yeah, okay. I mean, for that one, because it has so many details, it took me a while. I think it's a difficult question. I think most of the time, you spend a lot of time thinking about what could be like a perfect, I don't know, style for the branding and all these things. So like more or less, I think I started 2 weeks ago thinking about what kind of product I could create for the live stream, what would be nice, and thinking of what kind of product I should do that I can bring all these topics into the streams, what we could cover. So more or less 2 weeks for that. like, but not working on that all the time, like every now and then, but yeah. And I mean, I think when you creating something like that for a client, it's kind of different because you have your deadlines and
it's never the same, right? Working with clients than doing something, you know, that is pure, like it's your own brief actually, like you don't have any limits. So
yeah. So yeah, I was just working every now and then when I also, for me now, it was a really nice thing to do in between when I didn't work for the other project. So I thought, okay, here I can really do, like, I don't have a client, so this is a really luxurious project, I would say.
it's amazing. And we're getting lots of nice feedback. People are excited because, you know, we're using Dimension today. We're going to showcase everyone some nice details and tools, thanks to Tanja. So right now we are, I guess we're building the mock-ups.
Right, yeah. Yeah, what I'm doing here, I'm creating this kind of a background. I just use here the shapes from the starter assets. I use the plane for the ground for the scenery. Then I'm just used a cube, and you have, like here in the properties panel, you can resize them, you can make them larger, whatever you want to. And here for the scenery, I thought, because like the designs are based on these geometrical shapes, I also thought, okay, maybe let's use just one element in the background, that it's not that plain, but to have a bit in your scenery. So I used this cylinder tool, this cylinder element, and I want to bring it to the wall. And what I here did, because the cylinder is round, but here in the properties panel, there's this thing called slice, and here you can type in your angle, so you can make like this half of this circle. And now I want to bring it directly on top of the wall or in front of the wall. And when I go here and press this little dot in the middle, like it aligns the elements directly to the surface. So I can go here and it will here stick to that wall. So I can bring that in front of it. And yeah, this is basically the way how I kind of create a scene. And then you can bring this to the middle. And I think kind of this, and maybe I want to have this a bit.
Nice. I think
kind of that, I would say. So now the next step is we want to customize our products, and therefore I now bring the designs on top of the box. So therefore,
do you know, are we able to remove parts or of shapes and dimension, or you're only able to add?
You mean from the product itself?
Yeah, I believe so. We have Jackie here asking in the live chat.
No, I mean, these are the assets, and I think you can customize in the size and the scaling, but you can't work on, like, I can't remove, or maybe let me check that. You can, for example, remove the lid by just making it invisible, but you cannot, like, I don't know, close the box or something like that.
Yeah, it's just like separate elements that are already rendered. So
yeah, right. So it's made for making these mock-ups and not like working with the product itself. But also there's the possibility, I think, when you go down here, you can browse Adobe stock elements, and there are way more, like there are a lot of elements for free. You can also buy some elements.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, okay, now I want to bring this pattern onto the box. And what we thought here, I quickly jump back to Illustrator. So we want to basically create this dark blue box with the metallic effect of the brand design, of the brand pattern. So what I did here is I made one pattern where I just use where I delete the background color, because I want to apply that effect onto the lines. So I just also need the lines for this kind of design. So I'm just going for, I grab all the, because I also group them, I can just click and I can select all the dark blue shapes and I just make them transparent. So I have this design here with just the outlines. And then I go into my library, I open my library. I already did this now. I made a new library here where I also inserted all my brand colors and also this, because this design is now repeatable. As you can see here, this is our repeatless tile. So I inserted that into the library. Then I go back to dimension. And what I do now is I go into the lid, and I can do this by double clicking, or you can also click this little icon, this little arrow here, and then you are inside this object and you can work in that. And here you have this base color, and for that I want to bring this graphic, this pattern on top of that element. So first, what I do here, I give it a color, and I want to have my dark blue. So I'm going into my libraries, and I can just wait here, and I can just click this dark blue.
It's amazing how we can have everything in one place, right? Like a library for everything, for the patterns, for the colors between apps, so you don't have to struggle, by importing things and just
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think my internet connection is a bit slow today. That's why it's loading that long.
No worries. We can wait. You're fine. But we have Tony here. Tony, Emma, watching us live.
Hi.
Big shout out to our host. So Tanja, how does it feel to be a guest? I know that you are our German host and the German channel, Adobe Live channel.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like first I was also a guest in the German stream. I think it's more or less 1 year ago. I think in June, for the first time, I was a guest in the German stream, and since then I was also a host. And I don't know, it's kind of special, and it's also really nice to be here with you in the chat.
Yeah, I think it's a different experience, and you get to be part of the community. Like you feel what they're watching. So now we're just taking some time just to load the color.
Yeah, sorry, I think I have to relaunch my app. That never happened to me on a live stream, but it's live, so
all good. It's it's the real life. It's reality. Nothing
That's
is
true.
As
But I mean, I prepared it so we can just quickly jump in there, and so
we always have a backup on live streams. All good. Awesome.
Yeah, just a second, and then I think we can go on. Yeah, but it's so cool also that the UK stream, like the community is involved so much, and that they also created so many designs.
Shout out to everyone watching us today. You're part of the engagement. Yeah, I love, and we always have, our, faithful, let's say, fans watching us every stream. I think it's amazing. It's what drives us together, right? Like
yeah. Totally.
Amazing.
So I'm still checking. It's loading and loading. let's see.
And do you plan to have this physically done, Tanja, in the future? Like maybe actually print the package?
I mean, that would be really nice. But let's see. But indeed, that was kind of a project. It was kind of a dream to also design like a tea packaging someday. So that was really nice. So let me quickly do, because I now just opened like the final one, but I kind of go a few steps back so we can just simply go on where we were.
Beautiful work. I love the color palette he chose. So organic.
I don't know what's going on today. I mean, also Dimension, it's this 3D app. That's why it uses a lot of space, but
no problem. I think it would be nice to discuss, like, did you ever like build any objects on Dimension, or did you always use are you able to do that, or you can only use the templates that they're offering you?
I think, I mean, there are some other tools where you can really create your own 3D objects. I'm not into that so much. That's why I never tried it. Because also I think these three-dimensional things, it's something completely different than when you are illustrating in a two-dimensional room. So that's why I think it's a really good program for me. It offers the opportunity, or the thing that I can really easy somehow create these mock-ups. And also, especially when you're working for clients, this is a really good option to somehow give them like an idea of how this product is going to look like. So
sometimes it's hard to explain to a client. You need to show them exactly how it's gonna look like and to have a vision of it. So here's Sandrine here on the chat. She put, she mentioned that she have a prepared scenes, for instance. So when she's putting a mock-up together, she can just have everything ready and quickly to render. So that's a good approach. Great.
So I relaunched the app. So we were back on it again. So let's see, but it's really slow. I think it has something to do with my computer. But now what I wanted to show was that, okay, now we applied this dark blue to that box. Wait, I go on top of the box here to see it a bit better. Here by this little icon here, I could apply the color from a library. And then you have these special, or you have these properties, what you can apply onto the material. And because I said I want to have like this not glossy, like more a rough kind of cardboard box, and want to add this metallic pattern on top of it. So I bring the roughness here to 80%. And what I'm doing next is I insert, or I'm not doing it over the library because I don't know whether it's collapsing again. You can also just do it by by copy and paste it directly from Illustrator.
The good old way.
Yeah, the good old way. And I'm here still, you can still see that I'm in like the shape of my box here. And now it applies this pattern as a graphic style, as a graphic layer here in this panel. And it applies it by default. It applies it as a decal, but you can also set it to fill, and it makes a pattern out of it.
Whoa,
and here you can also here you can offset it and rearrange it, and with the repeat thing here you can make the proportions, and I think this looks really nice.
I'm so excited. I did not know that this exists.
Yeah, this is really cool. And so there are, for all of these kind of materials, or for all these products, there are a few different ways to bring your graphics onto the products. For that one here, because now I want to apply that metallic effect, this was the best solution, to just add or apply this color onto the material of the box, and then use apply the graphic as a separate layer, because now I can go on that layer here, and here in the property panel I can give it this metallic effect. Wow. And now let me check. I set it to, I don't know, 80, and now we can check this. And here when you move, I don't know if you can see this on the stream, but you can see now, you can't see it that much. And here when the light is shining like on top of it, you have like this reflecting effect.
Reflecting.
Yeah. So this is, I really like this effect here. And yeah, I did the same with this label. I go back into my file of Illustrator, and here I just grabbed that one here, also by copy and paste, and directly brought it on top. Like when you are here inside that that panel, you can like add different layers, and like the same like in Illustrator, you can drag them and rearrange them. And yeah, but here I want to have my logo on top of it. So this is basically how we can design the box. And now for that one here, I choose another way. Let me check that. I go.
This is the Tony flavor.
The Tony flavor, right. That's to show that. So I choose another option here, because with this packaging or with this product, it's like I want to create 3 of them, like the 3 different flavors, but I want every package to look like totally the same than the other one. So I want to have all my elements placed in this exact same position. So what I basically did here, I just started with one of these packages and also went into that package somehow. And here you can also apply or add a graphic over this action icon here. So place graphics on model. And to explain that quickly, what I did here, I have my illustrations, my 3 illustrations, and the logo and the flavor, the text of the flavor here, and I brought them in separate files. I created a file with only like 3, or here also the back sides, 6 artboards, where I placed every single illustration onto one artboard. I mean, I could also place the logo and the text onto it, but I wanted to have the possibility to flip them around and see how I can arrange them. So I just brought the illustrations on 3 different separate artboards. And I, what I can do now is in Dimension, when I'm in this panel here from my product, I can go into that action icon here. And then I can choose that file here. I called it illustrations, AI, and Dimension sees all Illustrator and PSD files, and you can apply them onto that product. So I open it, and now, wait, I zoom in a bit. It places my illustration directly on top of that product. So, and now I can resize it by holding the Shift key. I can resize it and it stays in its proportions. So I can bring it in that position where I think it's good. And I do that with all my 3 elements. So I also already applied the logo, and I do the same with the flavor. And I also created a file where I just typed in all the flavors, and it also just adds it onto the product as a separate layer.
You know, Tanja, we had a very interesting question from Srinidhi. I hope I'm saying the name right. After you apply the pattern to the box or to the asset, can you also edit it in Illustrator, but then the changes will be applied like automatically live per se? Have you ever tested that?
I mean, here I don't think so, because you have to upload a new version of it and you have to reapply it. And here in that one, I tried it, but I think it's not updating. It's not the same than in Illustrator, than in InDesign, for example, when you make some changes in, I don't know, in the photography. But it's really simple here. You can just go there, and here in your image properties, you can just reselect the file and you can reapply it. And
of course, because once you save a file on Illustrator, then it automatically saves on your library. And then if you have that asset on library, then you're using the updated asset. So I hope that answers your question, Shinidi. And but you know, we have that tool on After Effects. So After Effects also makes live updates while you're working. But yeah, in a different way, I guess.
Yeah, right. And yeah, I do this, and I can also now bring, for example, on the back side, I can go around my product.
Zoom in.
Wait. Here I can then also add the back side. And what I can do here now is, this is the same file. Here you can see this. It's the same file where my illustrations are inside, and there are also these artboards where my text from the backside is placed. Here, Dimension can read artboards from Illustrator, and also as well the artboards from Photoshop. So what I can do right now, I can just click on that little icon here, and here you can see the artboard, and now you can just simply choose your artboard, and it switches it to the text artboard, to the artboard number 6 in my Illustrator file. And then I do the same. I just place it here in that position where I want to have it. And now this way I can say, oh no, it's the wrong. It's not Tanja, it's Tony. So I think that was artboard number 4, Tony. Yeah, perfect. So I made my first packaging. And now what I mentioned before, when I'm now ready with that and I'm happy with how everything is positioned on that package, I can just simply make a copy of the whole element. So I'm just going to my selection tool, and by dragging and holding the control key, I can make, like, it's the same than in Illustrator. I can just make a copy of it. And also here, of course, it will add that layer. So it also makes sense to name your...
Always name your layers.
Yeah, and then I can also go inside that, and I just simply choose the second artboard, and now it's really easy, a really fast way. Here I did not, that was the back side.
Untitled T-Box Vinyl reversion number 2, number 1. That's Gareth suggested.
Yeah.
Day 3.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're also, everybody who created that pattern is also, of course, invited to make your own packaging now in Dimension.
We want to see your tea packages.
Yeah, and this way it's wait, now I'm getting confused with all my layers because I have too many here. I think that one is Tim. No, that one. Tim and Tanja. Let me see.
And then I guess we will be exporting this this render, right, Tanja? Which what do you suggest, and which format should we?
Yeah, right. Yeah, in that way you can really easily make your 3 designs here. I just trying to figure out here it is. Okay. So that way you can, wait a second here. Now I have my 3 boxes here. And I can rearrange them and kind of make my composition in the way where things I'm happy with. And what I can do now is when I'm trying to find like the right angle where I say, okay, I want to have everything visible here.
Yeah.
What I can do now is maybe I zoom in a bit, and I want to have these lines here. I want to have them parallel. And now I say, okay, now I'm pretty happy with the scene visible here, and I can create a camera bookmark. I can simply go here to this little plus icon. I can call that, I think I already did, full scene or overview, for example. And that means when I'm now, I don't know, I do something else and I want to go back into the exact same position, I can just simply choose that one here and click on that, and I'm going back to that one. So I can add like different elements or also make some of them invisible. And for example, because now I could also say, okay, in that composition, I want to make like the close-up, like a close-up photo from every, or close-up mock-up from everything. So I can also set my bookmarks for each view, and then just click here on this making invisible icon. And so I can set all my scenes. And then what I can do, one thing I also want to quickly mention is another thing. I go back to my overview here. Now I'm happy with everything what is visible on my mockup, and you can also work on the on the environmental lighting. And here you can say, for example, okay, I have this, I don't know, I want to have this glossy, shiny look. I think like the light is coming directly on top of it. So I maybe want to rotate it a bit. And here you can play around with that. Now my label is not visible. So you have to figure out like what is the right position somehow, that everything what you want to have visible is somehow visible. But
and the one you had, was it a soft box? I have a question here. Like the lighting that you use, is it a soft box? Is it something specific?
It's a default light. That's the default setting. But here you have like all the different, like you have these directional lights, but you also have these environmental lights. And for example, when you click on that one here, you can see that, I mean, it's looking really orange, but yeah, you have a whole different scenery there, and you can play around. And then of course here make,
that's so much fun. You can choose like the right you can feel for it.
Yeah, and I think for that one here, I choose the Studio front key light, because I think this is really good. Here you can see this metallic effect, but you still also see the logo on top of the box. Here you still see the logos, and the shine of the light is a bit on top of it. So I think kind of that I would say, okay, I feel pretty comfortable with that one. So what I could do now is for quickly get a PNG from that, or a snapshot of it, to, I don't know, paste it in a PDF or somewhere else. You can go on that share button and you can save this as a PNG snapshot. And then when you kind of feel happy with it, you can also go click on your rendering preview. I don't do that now because I'm afraid that my app is collapsing again. This will take a while, but it gives you like the preview how this picture in the end will look like. And when you're happy with that and you set your lighting and everything, you can go here on the top in this render preview, and here you can decide on all your settings, like you want to have this current
resolution and
right. Yeah. And whether you want to have it as a PSD or PNG, and of course where you want to save it and all these things. And then this will also take a while when you also want to set the quality to high. But I already saved a few of these mockups, and what I can also show you, like in the end, these were the images I've rendered. So we have this complete scene, or this overview of all the elements and of the whole scenery here. And we also do have here, for example, there was a snapshot, there was a test, and here I saw, okay, the lighting is a bit, I don't know, it's a bit too dark and not shiny, and and here are
that's beautiful
pictures of each flavor. And so this is a kind of a pretty easy and fast way how you can create your images. And of course, I mean, you can play around with that tool, and also you can paste some more elements in the background and everything. So this is a whole new dimension.
That was fantastic. So we have over 15 minutes more or less. Should we jump to Illustrator and go through the presentation?
Yeah, that's a good idea, because now that you have made your, I mean, in a normal case, or if that would be like a real client project, I think for the presentation of the product, and when we are still talking about what kind of packaging do they want to have, this is a pretty easy way to give them some kind of idea how the product can look like in the end. Because for most clients, it's pretty hard to somehow imagine when you show them, like, for example, these pictures here, and you say, okay, this is going to be your packaging design, and you show them these two-dimensional flat illustration. For some of them, it's hard to get an idea of the product. So sometimes I use these mockups for PDFs and for clients' presentation. And then, of course, in that case, it's also really, that was a good idea to use them to present your own work, or to show how you can present your own work. So what I would do now here, just a quick overview how I would probably present that type of project, or how I would prepare it for my own website.
Yeah.
And here, sometimes most of the times I prepare them also just on artboards on Illustrator, and I can afterwards export them as PNGs, web PNGs. So here I would probably start with this design here, because I think it gives a really nice overview of the whole product, of the whole project. So I would start with that one.
Beautiful.
So I just bring it into the right size. So here you already have, or you get an overview of what this project is about. And then the next thing, or maybe I would also turn them around or switch them, I don't know, then you can show the logo and that the viewer directly gets like the name of the project. And also already gets a hint what this is about. Like here it's the finest organic tea from the Black Forest, because also, for example, when you're preparing your projects for your online portfolio, I think it's always good to have text, but for me personally, I always try not to use like a pretty long text, because I think the people will they will not read it, because they're flipping really quickly through your sites and take a look on the project. So I think it's nice to have a lot of pictures and to give like an impression of the whole project by mostly just using pictures. So I'm always trying to kind of tell the story how I worked on that project, like over pictures. And
like keeping it simple, the less the better. Even if it's a small text, maybe, or like a couple of sentences, I'm sure that it would be easier to read. So that's a perfect example here that we're seeing.
Yeah. Maybe I would just use like 1 or 2 sentences from the briefing, like giving the background story. Okay, it's a family business. Like the son inherited the brand or the business from his parents. He runs it with a few friends and wants to have like a fresh branding. So this is like the basic information. And then, I would start with this overview. And then after that, I would go more into details to then give the viewer a bit more of the background story, like where did I start it? What is the project about? And here I think like the special thing about that tea brand is that it's an ecological brand. Like they produce it themselves. The leaves and the herbs are handpicked and air dried and all like this really handcrafted process here. I would say this is an important part of that project, and also it's important for them as a brand that they say, okay, we work in a sustainable way and handmade. And so I would start with that. And then I would go over into the details, like this is kind of the information about the project, and also gives an overview on how I could find a solution to bring that into design elements and to make that visible. And so I would start with these key elements, or I would go on with these key elements, because this is the special thing about the tea, or about the product. It's a tea made from these leaves and herbs. And here the special thing about the location, that it's from the Black Forest. And then
really tell the story behind the brand, and not just only focus on the visuals, like, just narrate the story and even like create your own element like you did here. We're very visual people, we love to, like you said, we barely read products. Like, I mean, of course we read, but when you see a product, the first thing you want to see is like the aspect of it. And I just find it fascinating, all these symbols that you created for the brand. So
and I think it also depends on what type of project you're presenting, right? Because like for my diploma project, or for my graduation project, I did a really big campaign, and where I had a lot of research material, which was pretty important to understand that type of project somehow. So the way of the presentation was a bit different, but I also started to give an overview of my research material. And I think it's important to see or to feel how you worked on that type of product. So what are you knowing about the client, what you're knowing about the project, and then how you deal with it and how you work on it to find some visual solutions. And then also showing the key visual here. In my case, that was the brand pattern. And I mean, I did these two versions. I did this one, the pattern with all the colors, and then this more reduced version, I would say. And because I used that one, or in the end, I decided for that one here for the mockups, I would also show that here in the project just to keep that consistency. And yeah, then of course you can go more into detail, show the color palette. Here I choose the same shape of, or the shape of this cup of tea here, showing you typefaces. And also in that case here for your presentation, I would not show like the whole process of like finding typefaces like what I showed on Monday. It's just like the results here. Yeah. Or maybe for the logo, sometimes I also think it's nice to show some drafts, because I think this is also pretty interesting somehow for the viewer to see like where your idea came from and how it developed.
Yeah, exactly. And like to see like the work in progress, that's I think it's important to showcase.
Yeah, and then I would say the third part of the website presentation would be like the showing some pictures of how the products or how your designs will be applied, and then giving these mock-ups or real photographies about the product itself and how your designs is applied onto the whole brand identity. And also here, for example, you can insert, here I use the slogan we created for that, because this is also the slogan gives this a vibe of the brand to it wants to be close to you, gives you like this feeling of harmony and yeah, bringing all your elements together. And here, for example, I also wanted to set the focus on these illustrations, because for me in that case, that was also a big part to create these illustrations. And when I say, hey, I'm also an illustrator, I want to also set the focus on showing these illustrations then. And yeah, and in that case, because I didn't have any real photographies, I went to Unsplash. Like this is a really nice website when you just want to see free stock photographies. I mean, in a normal case, I would go to Adobe Stock or something. But in that case, they have so many beautiful pictures here, and I just choose 2 or 3, I don't know, to give also an impression of that feeling and this tea.
Beautiful, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
Tanja,
that would...
We've had some great feedback from the community, you know, and thank you so much for sharing this. I think hopefully, you know, this brand will come to life and you'll be able to produce these, and you know, and I want to invite everyone to, you know, recreate their own packages or boxes or whatever it is and share them on our Discord channel. We'd love to see your designs. And by the way, Tanja, just to let you know, Tony is already having plans to vote for a t-shirt by these designs and a wallpaper, apparently.
Ooh, so nice.
Put that on your list. Put it on your list of future plans. So,
yeah, you know what? Yesterday I drove back home to my hometown, so which is basically close to the Black Forest, and maybe I will also visiting my brother who's living in the Black Forest. So I don't know, maybe he knows somebody who has a small tea label here. Let's see.
And we will have our first Tony, Tanja, and Tim flavor. How great. So we are at the end of our stream, Tanja. I want to thank you so much for, you know, joining us for these incredible 3 days of Hackathon. For those who missed it, go back to our Behance live channel so you can watch the Hackathon since the beginning and see how these patterns were created and the logo was created. And I want to thank, you know, a big thank you for everyone who's watching us today on the live chat. Again, don't forget to join us on Discord to continue the conversation. And last but not least, we are live next week on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And here's a recap of the schedule. On Monday, we have comic art by Alektor Pencer, hosted by the one and only Maddie. On Wednesday, we have a stream all about illustration by Klaus Czerwinski, hosted by Tony Harmer. And on Friday, we will be joined by Pauline, our French Adobe Live host. And this session will be hosted by Joe Allen, and we are gonna talk about photography. And just a reminder to everyone that we will be taking 2 weeks off, starting the week of July 5th. We'll be back on Monday, 19th of July, so you can enjoy your break, your holidays, or even if you're not on holidays, just enjoy, the sun outside. And if it's not sunny, because I'm aware that, it was raining in some of your countries. So just enjoy the free time, and we'll be back soon. Yeah, so big hug, virtual hug to everyone. It was nice to see you, Tanja. And yeah, see you on Monday, guys. Bye.
Thank you too. Bye bye.